J Drone here. What's going on, guys? Bugs 8, the original Bugs 8, not the 8 Pro, not the 6, the original 8. Anybody got one? Not many people got one. T8SG, old school. Control lights, control the camera. This thing came with a 5.8 gigahertz camera with an SD card in it. But we're just gonna take it for a fly. So let's go. We'll go ahead and pop that light back on. Grab the T8SG. Fire it up. I will say I'd go over your prop nuts just because I did, and one of them, which the one clearly that I replaced, which is this one, look, no hands. A lot of people say these things are really hard to control. Stock controller, probably a little bit more difficult than this controller because this controller is a little bit more hobby grade. But even on the stock controller, you could finesse it. The plastic controller was fine. Again, a lot of people here, this is what a lot of people do. A lot of people bounce with these. See, I can't get control of it. It's because you're not finessing the sticks. Finesse the sticks, and the thing will look like it has GPS. Let's see, try to get it to sit so I can pull the, we got a wind going in that direction, which is the way it's blowing. We'll just do a little fly with it. This one is by far my favorite, absolute favorite out of the Bugs lineup, I think. Just because of the profile of it, and it kept true to the stripe, kept true to the original look of the Bugs 3. And why they went with a Bugs 6, I don't know what the Bugs 6 was about. That thing didn't look like a MJX Bugs. It had a green stripe down the side. Essentially same exact thing as this, but just look different. Guys, if you have not subscribed to the channel, I do have new stuff on the back burner. I do have stuff that I need to touch base with again, and then I have an entire room full of stuff like this. Old school stuff that I'm still flying, old school stuff that I told you was good, that I put my name on it, that I told you go ahead and go buy this. How many years later? How many years later and this thing's still flying? How many years later and there's no issues with this? It's not using the stock battery. I do have the original stock batteries. It's actually using a stock battery from MJX Bugs 3, which is a little bit larger than this originally took, because this kind of took a shorter battery. So it actually offsets it too. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but let's see. You can see, ooh, careful. Try to bring it over here. You can see right there to there is the battery. So it's not quite centered. The original battery was much smaller and fit in that battery bay, centered. But again, as long as you're not going too crazy with it, should give you a little bit more battery life than the original one did, because it's a larger capacity. It's still a 7.4 volt battery, but the milliamp an hour is definitely higher. And if you're cruising around like this too, where you're not really crazy flying it, you're just getting out, getting some time on the sticks, getting some time on the battery, because again, original battery from how many years ago? Never replaced it. Once this starts blinking, that's your LVC. That's when you want to drop it. That's your storage level. You don't need no fancy hobby grade charger, although I suggest one to put it in. You don't need, I suggest one to charge your batteries, but you don't need one to put it in storage mode. The best storage mode is when this thing starts blinking. This thing starts blinking, that's the LVC, and boom, shelf it, done. It's at a safe level to sit on the shelf, just as well as it's at a safe level where it's not past the point where it's going to start decreasing voltage greatly from not being used. You can see this thing's flying nice. Look, it's drifting backwards, but again, there's no GPS on it. There's no altitude hold. There's no feature. This is you fly it. And again, it came with a 5.8 gigahertz camera. I believe this even came with a set of goggles. Might have actually been my first pair of 5.8 gigahertz goggles. It was a box goggle, monofocus. had a little 5.8 gigahertz screen that you charged outside of it. That I will say, those 5.8 gigahertz screens with the batteries inside of them, those weren't reliable to sit on the shelf. Those were tough to keep charged. If I have one or two of them that actually still work. This nice flyer though, nice flyer, smooth, not super loud either. Obviously brushless motors. Smaller propellers than the MJX Bugs 3, smaller frame. A little bit cooler looking profile. Super robot-y type looking profile with those white LEDs there. Guys, again, I'm J Drone. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? I've been doing this for a while. We've been doing this for a while. And again, this is quality testing 101. What other channels flying one of these? How many years later? If you still got one, maybe you want to go ahead and get it out. Just as well as older stuff, check out my channel. You got stuff you shelved, you got stuff you boxed. I probably put it up in the air within the past year or so. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. This thing's flying forever. I'm actually gonna land it because I'm type chilly. It's probably in low 40s right now. What's 50s? Maybe it's still around there. A little bit of a breeze on my back though. I'll go ahead and bring it in. Little reverse funnel it in. Let's see if I can get it in here. Spinning. Little funnel action. Hey, a tight funnel. How you like that funnel? Here we go. It's beeping. That's the LBC. We blinking. So actually that was a full run. So that's good time on the battery. We're gonna nicely sit this down, not break the legs, not chop up the propellers. Nice, sit it down, and then we're gonna kill the motors. Boom, we can shut the lights off just for giggles. Lights on and off. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, again, who's doing this? And this T8SG, they on top of the game. Jumpers on top of the game. The other companies that make these multi-protocol radios are on top of the game. And before it was the trainers, right? Nah, I told everybody about these. The old one's still working good, and then the new one's top selling. Bugs 8, T8SG, let's go.